Welcome back, friends, to episode 16 of Snowrunner. And as you can see, we're in the Ford F-750. To bring you up to speed, I spent the last 2 days off camera running through the Russian maps looking for the upgrades for this truck. I now have the race suspension on it. I put a set of jack-of-all-trades treads tires on it. And I have the second most powerful engine in the truck. So my plan for today was to do Riverside repair. So for that, we're going to need 2 service spare parts, which we'll get from the warehouse, and 2 wooden planks. So let's start, first and foremost, by backing up and getting a 4-slot trailer. Now, hopefully, this 750 will have the power to pull everything like it should have the first time I used it. The reason I am heading to get the service spare parts first is because of all the components that are going to be needed. They are actually the closest and probably the lightest. Now we're going to go ahead and kick in the Ford's all-wheel drive. And already I can see it's struggling, so we might have to go put the bigger engine in it. Okay, well, it's slow, but it's doing better than it was. And it does not like low gear. Okay, well, seeing as we are close enough to the shop, Let's go ahead and detach that trailer. And we are going to go ahead and go swap this motor out. And we will put the biggest motor in. I was hoping that with the second biggest motor it would be sufficient to handle what it needed to handle, but unfortunately, as we just saw, even pulling an empty trailer, it was struggling to go uphill. So we're going to go ahead and come here to customize, and we'll put the 6.6 liter in it. And let's just double check. For some reason, the Jack of all trades tires didn't stick. That might have something to do with how poorly it was handling. We are once again going to kick in the all-wheel drive. Went up that slope quite easy, but it's not pulling anything. Okay. So we'll put the parking brake on. And then we're going to pull the trailer to us with the winch. Alright, well, at least until we get to the top of this hill, we will tow the trailer with the winch. Now, if I remember correctly, this mission that we are doing, this task, is actually a two-parter. So hopefully we have time in this episode to manage both parts of it. Okay, we are hooked up to the trailer once more. And the truck is moving along so much better with the higher horsepower motor. Only downfall to that is it is going to eat through the gas quicker. But when you don't want to use an overpowered vehicle for a map like this, the F750 is a good option. And I do have 3 videos that you can watch on how and what I had to go through to get this F750. All in, it took me, I believe, about 3 hours to locate it and recover it, as I had never actually went to recover the F750 before. In all my previous gameplay walkthroughs, I was always using mod vehicles, and being I am a Dodge guy, I never saw the desire to go get the Ford. But with this Let's Play, and after using the Limes Aries 2.0 on this map, I just felt the Limes Aries was a little too much for the map, or the set of maps. So I wanted to get something that was essentially base game, that wouldn't be overpowered. So I decided to go get this F750. This mission, could I have used my C500 twin steer? Yes, I could have. Could I have used the Chevy Silverado 1500 that you get at the start of the game? Sure, I could have used that as well. But the C500 is still a bit overpowered for these maps. It'll work in a pinch, but with Michigan maps being essentially your starter maps, I didn't want to rely heavily on the mod trucks. So that's why you will see that I have the Fleet Star at the garage. I do have the C500 twin steer, but that's in storage. The Limes Aries 2.0 is in storage, and if need be, can be a rescue vehicle. But at least for the Michigan maps, unless I need more vehicles, I want to try and do this part of the play with the base game trucks, as I think that the base game trucks will be more than sufficient for most of what needs to be done on these maps. Now, as we get through with the tasks and missions in Michigan and we get ready to scoot on over to Alaska, I think that's when we're going to end up pulling out the Ares 2.0. I have another mod truck that I haven't used yet on this series, which is called the Workhorse. It's smaller than the C500, but works in most positions as well as the C500 twin steer, so should be just as efficient. Now, I have seen video of people using the 750 in Alaska, and it seems fairly capable, even in the winter terrain. So we will have to give that a try. It doesn't hurt to give the 750 a good shakedown in Alaska. If it's not really capable of handling the terrain, then we can always pull out the Ares 2.0, which had no real big issues in the winter Russian map. Which is where I had to go to get this. The biggest issue that the Ares 2.0 had was when it was trying to pull this over a very narrow rock cliff, and the Ford was towing a fuel trailer, and the whole combination ended up going over the side of the cliff. I ended up having to get another vehicle out there to get enough area cleared to be able to get the 750 out of the wooded area that we ended up falling into, as well as the Ares and the fuel tank. But I will link at least part 2 of searching for the F-150 in the video. That way, if you guys want to know where to pick up the F-750, you will have that availability. You may want 2 wooden planks, Now we are still in two-wheel drive, and the F750 seems to be doing okay. It is down to basically half a tank of fuel, but we have fuel in the bed, so I'm not too worried about that. And we are not far off from our destination, though we do have some muddy areas to go through. I might have to put a weighted bumper on this, but it already gets pushed enough as it is by the trailers, so that may not be a very good idea. The only thing the weighted bumper would do would be to keep the front end closer to the ground. Oh, hey, look, there's our twin steer. It's not in storage. I was wrong. Well, I guess I will have to bring that back to the garage and get it put in storage. Up here we are going to take a left. And we are about to see how this thing does in some truly heavy mud that it can't really avoid with a full trailer load. Not too bad. It could use a better gearbox, but from what I've seen, it only has one gearbox available. Now, for those of you new to this series, if you're asking why I haven't looked at my map yet to find out where we're going, it's because I have played these Michigan maps quite a bit, so I'm pretty familiar with where I have to go. And as you can see, our drop-off location is just right over here. And instead of trying to go around the farmer's house with a loaded trailer, we are just going to take the easy way. And there we go. We have task completed. $1,600. and 160 stars. We no longer need this trailer, so instead of trying to back around and all that, we'll just delete it. Because then we can put the 750 in reverse. Hopefully not turn it over, because I don't know if I have an autonomous winch on it. And we can head back. Now I would go ahead and do lost trailer, which is this task just up here, but we are getting close to the 30-minute time limit that I try to keep my videos to, and it will take longer than I have to do that task. But what we will do is we will come in here, we will show task, and we will start tracking it. And we will get the Ford turned around and pulled off to the side of the road so that it is ready to go in our next episode. And actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and get the Ford refueled. Ooh. I don't have as much fuel on this truck as I thought I did. That's okay. We will get everything refueled in the next episode after we collect the trailer. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button, leave a comment. If you feel like you want to, please share the video. And if you are not yet subscribed, please consider doing so, as it helps my small channel. And it takes you only a second and costs you nothing. With that, I wish you all a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are, whenever you may be watching this. Thank you.